If I had to name one standout indie RPG from the past few years, especially in a time when classic style RPGs seem to be fading into obscurity, Stolen Realm would be high on my list. For fans of old school party-based RPGs, this game manages to strike a refreshing balance between nostalgia and innovation. It's the kind of game that feels both familiar and surprisingly fresh. At its core, Stolen Realm is a turn-based isometric RPG where you create your own adventure party by choosing from a broad selection of classes. Once your team is assembled, you head out on a tactical journey full of battles, exploration, loot and progression. One particular nice feature is the flexibility. You can expand your team mid-game or adjust the difficulty if you are struggling. This makes it a great entry point for newer players, though expanding your party also scales up the enemy difficulty. That means no more situations where you steamroll a land bandit with 5 overpowered heroes. Combat remains challenging and balanced. The base games offer 9 unique character classes. These include the usual suspects: warriors, rogue, mage and healers, as well as more hybrid options like shamans or druids. Each class brings its own set of skills and elemental affinities, from fireballs and lightning strikes to freezing spells. One of the standard mechanics here in the class progression system is not locked down by rigged rules. Instead, it's semi-open. While each character has a primary class, you can also invest skill points into abilities from other trees that allows you to craft hybrid builds and develop multiple functional party members, bringing creativity and experimentation, what the game encourages you to do. The battlefield itself isn't static either. Fights often include interactive elements like barrels with elemental effects and various shrines that can boost damage, reduce mana costs or apply buffs for enemies too, so positioning really matters. These tactical elements can turn the tide of battle if used wisely. Thanks to the generosity of the developers, I had chance to explore both the base game and the newest DLC, the Chaos Pack. And let me tell you, it brings an interesting twist to the formula. So what's it all about? The Chaos Pack introduced a brand new class specialization built entirely around, well, chaos. It adds a 10 skill tree that plays by its own unpredictable rules. While the original classes focus on consistent, dependable abilities, Chaos Magic introduced wild randomness and unpredictable outcomes into the mix. Now, if you are not fan of RNG mechanics, here's your warning: this DLC leans hard into them. Personally, I'm usually not a fan of excessive randomness in games. I prefer strategy and control over roll dice every turn, but I gave it a shot and built my party around it, and honestly, I was surprised by how well it worked. Meet my Chaos team. For this playthrough, I created 2 new characters. Originally, I thought about making a self-insert character, but then I noticed a marvelous option to create a baby. Yeah, baby. Something about that face paint and grey hair just clicked with the chaotic vibe I wanted. Baby became my full-on Chaos caster. Alongside him, I added Lennon, a monk-style melee fighter. She's fast, deadly and great at keeping enemies from getting too far. Chaos Magic isn't just about mindless randomness. Sure, it's unpredictable, but there is a logic into it. Once you get a feel for the mechanics, you start to see patterns and possibilities. It forces you to adapt and strategize in new ways, and that keeps combat feel dynamic. One standard Chaos ability is summoning a wizard hat that spawns elemental barrels onto the battlefield, similar to the ones that appear at the start of every fight. These barrels might heal, explode or inflict status effects. It sounds ridiculous, and honestly, it kinda is, but that's what makes it fun. Once upgraded, the Chaos caster can even summon shrines with area effect, further disrupting the battlefield. Another super useful Chaos ability is telekinesis, which lets you move objects like barrels across the limited area. I use it to drag explosive barrels towards enemies or move helpful ones closer to my team. My strategy quickly became: have baby summon chaos, launch barrels and explode everything. Then Lennon would step in to mop up and finish anyone who dared survive. Eventually, Lennon picked up a skill that allowed her to strike multiple enemies at once in a short melee range. Perfect for when baby lured them into a tight group before triggering a huge elemental blast. That synergy was satisfying, chaotic and just plain fun. You should try it. There are more than 30 chaos-based skills and perks in total, including abilities that randomly buff or debuff your allies and enemies. It's unpredictable, yes, but in a way that keeps you on your toes. While the Chaos Pack brings a completely new way to play, It doesn't add new missions, environment or chaos-themed barrels to the rest of the game. It's a class-focused DLC, not a full content expansion, but it's also priced reasonably, and what it does adds a total different playstyle that completely shifts how you approach the game. Beyond the chaos, the core game itself still has a lot to offer. One charming and kind of hilarious touch is how defeated enemies often go flying in dramatic slow motion, even as the rest of the battle continues at full speed.
Harold, could you stop this nonsense? Look, Mom, that is flying!
Travel in Stolen Realm happens via a world map where you choose your next quest or encounter. Main quests are marked with exclamation points, while side quests appear as a regular dots. Some paths offer rest spots to recover health and mana, while others gives access to treasure rooms, merchants or random events. Quests are split into sections, and at the end of each, you choose which path to take next, sometimes a tougher battle for bigger rewards or other times a safer option. Events usually involve discovering statues or mysterious locations, presenting you with choices that grants temporary buffs or other effects, valid only for the duration of that quest. Visually, Stolen Realms uses the low-poly art style that many indie games lean on, based on well-known assets. But here it's done right. It doesn't feel cheap or half-baked. Instead, the game feels polished, snappy and thoughtfully put together. Transitions, animations and UI all run smoothly, and small details make it clear that this isn't some amateur passion project. It's a professional crafted indie game. Sure, it may not be for everyone. Not everyone loves micromanaging a full party or choosing individual actions for each character during every turn, and I do wish there were a feature in events to let you pick up one response for the entire team. But if you are into classic RPGs, or you love tabletop games like Dungeons & Dragons, you're probably going to have a blast with what Stolen Realms offers. So yeah, if you are curious about the game or the Chaos Pack DLC, links are in the description. If you want more indie games and weird but wonderful finds, subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!